You so much, Catherine, for joining me. I've gotten some emails, including one from Adam. Adam, thanks for sending this in, where they are wrapping up paying off debt, or they're very close to it, and
Mhm.
they want to know what are next steps. Of course, right now they're building up some savings, but they know they need to be more proactive about retiring and investing. So I'm so glad you're with us. So, one thing that Adam was talking about was investing. Where should he be putting his money? And now I know this is not specific investment advice because
Right.
you have to sit down and know exactly what the situation is to get the best advice. But as a general overview, where should couples be paying attention with investments?
Sure.
Mhm.
So the first thing I always say is if you have an opportunity to contribute to a 401k, that is your best way to maximize your saving for retirement. It goes in on a pre-tax basis. If you're lucky enough, your employer is going to match. And it reduces your taxable income because it comes out pre-tax. So that would be the first thing, is to make sure that if you have a 401k plan or a retirement plan available to you through your employer,
Mhm.
not only are you contributing to it, but you're also making sure that you're in those assets are actually being invested. Just because you're contributing doesn't mean that they're being invested in the market. They could be sitting in a money market savings account inside that 401k. And then I would say after that, do some what we call napkin financial planning. And you can do that, you and your spouse or partner, when you're sitting at your kitchen table. And, just draw yourself three buckets. The first bucket is your cash bucket. How much money do you need to live on? And do you have 6 months worth of savings?
Mhm.
That money you're basically wanting to keep liquid. You're giving up some return on it for peace of mind.
Yeah.
Then your middle bucket comes into play, where the middle bucket is your somewhat goal money, or money that you're not really touching in the next 3 to 5 years. That's when you can get some real good recommendations on investments, vehicles like mutual funds or exchange traded funds, or even individual stocks if that's your preference. Um, Real good investment options there in that middle bucket that fit your risk tolerance and your financial goals. And then, of course, the third bucket is what's going towards retirement. When you're done working and there's not a paycheck coming in,
Mhm.
how is that going to be supplemented in retirement? So the middle bucket can go either way. The middle bucket can refill that first cash bucket,
Mhm.
or the middle bucket, as it grows, if it gets a little bigger than what you really want to keep in that midterm bucket,
Mhm.
put some of it towards your retirement. From a easy planning standpoint of getting your head around your financial situation,
Mhm.
put yourself into those three buckets. Where's my cash? Where's my midterm money? And what do I have going towards retirement?
Gotcha. That's fantastic, because I know sometimes if you don't have a plan, even if it's like a general plan, it's very easy for that money to go away. Like, do
Oh,
not wait to
absolutely.
the end of the month because there's not enough.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
I know there's people within our community, they're good income, there's
Yeah.
dual earners, especially like here in the Triangle area, tech workers. I thought I saw in WREL like one of the highest averages
Yeah.
for tech workers for salaries. So they're doing well. They have the cash flow. And one of the goals they're thinking of, I would love to become financially independent, whether that means like retiring early or so forth. But that is a huge goal, definitely.
Mhm.
And I'm curious, how could a couple figure out exactly like how much they need to save so they could retire or become financially independent?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The one answer that'll keep
Mhm.
popping up is do a financial plan, because the financial plan basically will put it all together for you,
Mhm.
and it will basically tell you if you're going to run out of money, it's going to happen close to this year. It's not linear,
Ah.
it's not
Mhm.
absolute,
Yeah.
but if you stay on the same track that you're on, this is throughout the accumulation stage and the income stage, what you could plan on happening throughout retirement. And it'll tell you whether you're going to have a shortfall or whether you're in good place, and maybe you can do some estate or legacy planning.
Mhm.
But it really gets down to your financial independence comes from the knowledge that you're going to have about where you are financially today, what it's going to look like when you do retire, and how do you transition to that income source. So, financial plan.
Yeah. Yeah. I obviously that is wise because that is such a huge milestone. And
Yeah,
you definitely don't want to mess that up because, like you said, if you are too conservative or you think you need less than you really need, you're going to run out of money.
absolutely.
You don't want
Yeah,
to be stuck that way.
yeah.
So I do know with couples that are thinking of retiring early, they're thinking of withdrawing money before the traditional retirement age. So certain accounts, they can't access to, or they don't want to access to,
Right.
mess that up with their taxes. So what accounts should they be looking at or should they be investing in?
So if your plan really is, if a member is really looking to retire before 59 and a half,
Mm-hmm.
uh, if they don't have a, a bucket of income producing resources,
Mm-hmm.
then they're going to have to create that themselves. And the best way to do that is to do, based on their risk tolerance and based on what their goals are, meet with a financial advisor, open a brokerage account,
Mm-hmm.
and start actively contributing to that. You can even contribute on a monthly basis, just have some money sweep in there each month so that as you're nearing that early retirement, you're going to have an idea of what money's going to be available to you that's not going to be penalized or come out and create a tax event for you. A lot of times we have clients that create a sleeve of dividend paying stocks.
Ah,
Yeah. So they'll hold on to those. They'll just take the dividend off of them. We meet with clients and they've inherited a
mm-hmm.
whole portfolio of dividend paying stocks. So it just really for the people that are trying to plan to retire early, your point about not being able to access some of those retirement plans with restrictions on it, saving outside of that, you can do it in a brokerage account and just make sure that everything is growing and working while you're still working.
Yeah, I know, and I'm a firm believer. It's definitely great to educate yourself, to be
Yeah.
proactive about finances, but there's definitely times when you need to tap into an expert and
Yeah.
their knowledge and advice. So thank you. I appreciate it for you taking the time to chat with me about this. Thank you, Kathy.
Absolutely. Thank you.